Zendikar Rising Adventuring Party Reaction. Hey everyone, it's VM Campos, Magic Fan. Did you watch the Zendikar Adventuring Party event this morning? Or whatever your locality time zone was? It was basically Wizards of the Coast having a 40-minute presentation with Jimmy Wong and Becca Scott, with special guests, talking about the latest Zendikar Rising stuff. They revealed mechanics of the set, they did some trivia, as we see here. They had various special guest stars and reveals and so forth, and we're going to do a reaction to it. So, of course, follow the link in the description to go see the whole thing yourself. We're not going to go to the whole 40 minutes together. We're going to jump to the big important stuff. So, just to kind of start off here, what was the original name of all of this? Short answer is Lanzapalooza. Mark Rosewater's been wanting to get this happening for a long time, and he finally got it. Lanzapalooza is the answer. Anyway, let's look at some of the reveals. So after a pretty epic trailer, which just briefly to say about this is again in the style of the modern computer animation that looks really good. Like, you know, it all started with War of the Spark. That was back in the good old days in the 2019s. And here we have all of this modern animation, very cool styling and everything. And there's actually like a WTF moment at the end of it. There's what you would say a fatal push sort of event, and very evocative music, very cool camera angles, a lot of action. It's very mysterious, great colors and animation and all of that. So watch the whole thing yourself. This is an A+ trailer, as they've all been recently. So what's been really cool about the trailer is that here, this reveal, they had Becca Scott and Jimmy Wong, and it was like very cinematic. A lot of great lighting going on, some good acting. Jimmy, after all, has been in like a real freaking Disney movie. Congrats. Becca Scott and Jimmy both like really doing the Indiana Jones style of things and revealing and going through various things and getting stuff. So, such as Meris telling us about some new Planeswalkers. Well, by the time that this came out, we already knew about these Planeswalkers, but we have Nahiri, Heir of the Ancients. So basically you create core warriors, and then right away you can attach any equipment to the core. You can also look at the top 6 cards of your library, either get a warrior or an equipment, and then the -3 is to deal damage target creature or planeswalker equal to twice the number of equipment you control. So this set's gonna have a lot of equipment stuff going on. We're also gonna have Jace, which has Kicker. You can summon it for 3 or 5. If you summon it for 5, you get 2 copies of this card, which then lets you scry, which then also lets you draw a card. There's a lot of cool stuff happening there. The full art ones are looking really nice. There's, you know, evil twin Jace. And we also got the art for the Nissa card, but not what it actually does. So what do you think it does? It makes elementals, or like it doubles your mana, or what do you think? What do you think this new Nissa does to break the game? It was also revealed that we are gonna get actual story and lore digitally. They didn't fully reveal how that'll be, but we're actually gonna get story to follow along with the events of the game. So great thumbs up for that. Story, like, you know, what even happened on the last few sets. Let's get some more story on the mothership. We then had my good buddy Matt Tabak, who's been on the podcast, episode 79 and 80, I believe, somewhere around there, 77. Go back to the archives. Matt Tabak dropped by to talk about the returning mechanics such as Kicker, which of course, as you pay more of a cost, you get more of a thing. For example, Blood Chief's Thirst, you pay 1 black mana. It's a sorcery. It destroys a planeswalker or creature of CMC 2 or less. Okay, great. But if you kick it for a total of 4 mana, you will be able to destroy any creature or planeswalker for that cost. Now, it is a sorcery, but in the early game you might only need it for the 1 black. Later on you might need it for the 4. So Kicker is one of the things we're going to see. We also saw Omnath come back as a 4 mana cost. They just added a new color to Omnath, and now he's also got Landfall. Now this one is completely wacky. Landfall, the first time that Landfall happens on your turn, you gain 4 life. The second time Landfall happens on your same turn, you get 4 mana, and the third time Landfall happens on your turn, you deal 4 damage to all of your opponents. So the more lands you can drop onto the battlefield, the more Omnath is amazing. So obviously your original land drop of the turn gives you one thing, and then maybe after that play Grow from the Ashes and drop 2 more lands on the battlefield, and you get all of this amazing stuff. Great for multiplayer. Omnath, I can't wait for him to be black tinged eventually, so you can play him totally in a Wooburg commander deck. So then my Turian stops by to reveal a brand new mechanic. We will finally be able to party in Magic because we've got a brand new mechanic called Party. So basically this cares about your creature types, very specific creature types. If you've got these creatures, specifically a warrior, a wizard, a rogue, and a cleric, you achieve party. Actually, if you have at least one of them, it's part of your party. So when you have a card with party, it checks if you've got these, how many of these that you have. Then the card will tell you what to do about them. So we get a great example right over here, the Shepherd of Heroes. We have a 5 mana 3/4 flyer. It's an angel cleric, so it hits one of them, it's a cleric. When Shepherd of Heroes enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each creature in your party. So if you just summon the Shepherd, you gain 2 life because you get a cleric. A party, remember, is made up of cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard. And if you've got all 4 of those types, you gain 8 life. So 5 mana for a 3/4 flyer, and you gain 8 life if you have the rest of the party. Now, you don't get double if you've got 2 rogues and 3 wizards and so forth. It just counts, apparently, 1 of each. So not more that you have of them, but just that there's any of them in the party. That's one of the brand new mechanics that first existed. Here's Zendikar Rising Party, which will tie into something that we will see later in the video. That's something about adventuring and so forth. Okay, so the other mechanic brings back double-faced cards, DFCs, but now we have them as modal DFCs. That means you can choose which side of the card comes into play at the moment that you play it. So instead of a card that starts off at a certain face and then flips over after a certain condition, or flips the other way or whatever, this is that you'll actually be able to pick. And what we're getting are lands, for example, Valakut Stoneforge. So the back side of this one is a red mana source that enters the battlefield tapped, or the front side of it is an instant, Valakut the Awakening, instantly put any number of cards from your hand onto the bottom of your library, then draw as many of those. So notice the icons on this. On the top left corner, we've got this icon, which I guess is supposed to be a mountain pointing up, maybe? This is the front of the card. You can also tell because we got the hologram at the bottom. At the bottom left, then we've got the little icon that tells you there's something on the back side. If you look to the left, I kind of think it's a little awkward how these icons look down there. I think it's kind of stuck in there, and you're going to have a hard time telling which is the front or the back. It doesn't matter because they both have a side, but I guess technically in the rules of Magic, it matters which is the front, which is the back. This is the back. Notice the color is slightly different compared to the front. The front has got the current design of Magic borders. The back has that alternate type of design, which I think came from like Time Spiral or something, or Future Shifted or Chaos Warped or whatever it's called, that other design. So modal double-faced cards will let you select the type of a mode at the time that you need it instead of meeting a condition. There is then a new cycle of dual lands that do the same thing. Either play this Crag Crown Pathway as an untapped mountain when you need it, or instead play it as a Timber Crown Pathway with it as an untapped green source. So every color basically, and these are rare with some cool art and then some cool names and so forth, and it's a dual land, but worse. Everything's worse than a dual land, of course. They hit it out of the park in alpha. But basically, whatever color that you need at that moment, you play it and you've got the color. However, if you needed 2 blue later on, and you didn't play 2 blue sources of it, you don't have it. It's whatever you play at that moment, it stays for the rest of the game, but you can pick whichever one you want, and it comes in untapped. So again, the production values of this reveal was amazing. Here's Becca in an amazing library, and then she's chatting over here with Meris. So she's revealing that we're going to get full art lands again. So full art lands made famous in the original Zendikar. Now here, these are going to come in the actual boosters themselves. These are common. They're going to come in the collector booster. They're going to come in the regular draft booster and the and the set boosters, so we're going to get more lands. We're also going to get expeditions in the new Zendikar set, which basically means ultra rare versions of cards as box toppers or something. So these are going to be ultra hard to get. But these are the fetch lands, Flooded Strand, Scalding Tarn, etc. So fetch lands are back as box toppers that are incredibly hard to get. Honestly, there's like 1 in 10,000 boxes that might appear. So they can be extremely valuable, especially if you get them in foil. But yeah, Polluted Delta, all of these cards that people have been screaming to get are finally coming. Pleasant Kenobi must be jumping up and down, doing backflips after the reveal here to know that they came back as expeditions. Plus, we also get these other lands. What are these called? I think I saw them called fast lands, but the community seems to be calling them like crowd lands or whatever. They came from Battle Bond, right? Morphic Pool enters the battlefield tapped, unless you have 2 or more opponents. So that was the Battle Bond sort of thing, when you battle other people, and it checks to see if you've got a crowd. That's why I hear people call them crowd lands. And they give you one of the colors that you want. It comes in untapped. We're also getting a reprint of Prismatic Vista. So that one was first printed in Modern Horizons, right? And it's basically a fetch land for a basic land. It comes in untapped for any basic land. It won't let you go get your Shockland or whatever. We're also getting a reprint of Wasteland, so gives you 1 colorless mana or sacrifice it to destroy a non-basic land. So for people playing all of those amazing lands, here we've got a Wasteland ready to destroy it. Amazing art on that, of course. Matt Tabak returns again to talk about the set boosters. He just breaks down the information that's already been given. So there's a brand new type of card called a set booster. Regular draft boosters are still around. Of course, collector's boosters are still around. But there's a brand new set booster, which is like a completely different kind of booster. It's more for the collectors. So you don't want this if you're going to draft. They're not designed for draft. Because you're going to get an art card, which might have an artist stamp on it. You're going to get a basic land, might be foil. You get a bunch of commons and uncommons that thematically mix together, like a bunch of cats or whatever. You get an uncommon or common showcase. For example, one of the double-faced ones. You get a guaranteed foil and a guaranteed rare or mythic. Then a couple of wild cards come after that. And then after that, there is a spot that is known as the list. The items in this list are cards from vintage sets in the original borders and so forth. You could get a Simian Spirit Guide, the classic card over here, where you exile it from your hand to give you 1 red mana. I wonder how many good cards are going to be here, because Slimefoot is okay, but it just came out. And something like Simian Spirit Guide, I think, is going to be pretty amazing if you're able to crack it in the original border. And so those are some more reveals about what the new set booster is all about. There's Matt and his cat telling us about the new cards coming out. Mark Heggen drops by to reveal the next year of Magic. In this treasure chest is full of all of the sets that are coming out. Eventually, let's just jump to the final reveal over here about all of the sets. Here we go. So this is the future of Magic in the year 2021. We're going to have Kaldheim in the first quarter of 2021. So what is that, around January, April? When does that happen? Yeah, in the beginning of 2021, we're going to go to Kaldheim. So this is the very first time we have a set in Kaldheim, although we have had various flavor text and references to it, I guess. I'm just going to call it Ice Age, even though, yes, Ice Age happened during Dominaria, but here we go to Kaldheim. Then we're going to have Harry Potter World in the world of Magic, Strixhaven, a school of mages. Literally, it is going to be like various schools that are battling each other magically and playing Quidditch in the world of Magic. So that's coming in quarter 2 of 2021. Then we're going to have the mashup of the century, Dungeons & Dragons, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. We're going to have a real Magic set that is Dungeons & Dragons, black border, no silver border, unset shenanigans. It's going to be in the third quarter of 2021. It is the Magic plus D&D world together. And to wrap up the end of the year, we're going to have 2 Innistrad sets. We're going to return to Innistrad with, down on the corner it says, names not final. Innistrad Werewolves, Innistrad Vampires. So from the announcement here, Mark seemed to have said that these are going to be 2 complete large sets. So, 270 to 300 cards or whatever, complete sets. So after Magic started to kind of set this up in the block structure way back in Mirage 1996, it was big set, small set, small set. And they kind of experimented with that. It was, 3 sets set in one plane. And I liked that it was like a whole time to tell a bunch of stories. The people behind Magic have said that they didn't fully like it because people got fatigued, they ran out of ideas, they couldn't mesh them all together, problems. So then they went down to the 2 set block. They did that for a little while. It ended with Ixalan block. Rivals of Ixalan, Original Ixalan. That was the last time they did it. Then they broke into like single planes, even though they kind of did Guilds of Ravnica, Ravnica Allegiance, and War of the Spark, even though it was different. And then they've been doing that recently with just like one quick stop at Eldraine, one quick stop at Theros, one quick stop at Ikoria, which I don't like. Personally, I don't like the one and done where we get in, we get out. I don't like that. We're still going to do it for most of the year next year, but then we're going to have 2 of the same set. Does that mean that they're going to kind of change things once in a while in terms of there being, longer time in a set, even though it still says 1 quarter, quarter 4, like, I don't know how that's going to work. And if you notice here, there is no mention of a core set. Will there be no core set 2022? Will we do every other year core set? I'm down for that. Let's see how that goes. Now, if you also look very closely there, we have Time Spiral Remastered. We're going to get all of the Time Spiral sets, which was Time Spiral, Planar Chaos, and Future Sight, combined into one set of 300 cards or whatever, taking the best cards from all of those sets, which came out way back in like 2001 or 2 or something, a while ago, and remastering it into like one cohesive set. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then sometime in the middle there, we're going to have Modern Horizons 2, which I thought was a really cool set. I loved how it was like various throwbacks to concepts of the old days, plus reprints of old things. I'm down for that. And they said that they're actually going to then start to reprint again the fetch lands in there. So we are going to get fetch lands reprinted in 2020 as they promised. But we're also going to get them reprinted in Modern Horizons, because this year we're going to get reprints, but they're going to be expeditions, which means you're never going to get them, you're never going to crack them unless you open up 5,000 boosters of Zendikar Rising. However, with Modern Horizons, they will have a chance to be there in real boosters. Now, Modern Horizons boosters last time were like $6.99. So a little bit more expensive than a regular booster, but they're going to be in regular boosters that you'll be able to get soon. So that's our roadmap for Magic in the year 2021. The final reveal here of the event were shoes. You can get these Jace shoes that glow in the dark. All of the, the white areas of the shoes glow in the dark. I think conceptually that's really cool. I love glow in the dark stuff. Back in the 90s, I loved collecting those glow in the dark covers. They caused the crash of the comic book industry and caused Marvel to go bankrupt, but I loved all those gimmick covers. Still, tear them out of my cold dead hands one day. Anyway, I like these shoes, though I don't like the kind of like the logo. Jace's logo right there is kind of like too low. You don't get the full shape of it. It's kind of touching down on the bottom area. I wish it was a little bit higher. I guess it had to be smaller. I just kind of don't feel that it fits as well as it could within the shape of the shoe. But there's a link there. Go buy it right now. Limited quantities, I guess. Put on your Jace shoes while you play your Jace cards in your Jace deck and so forth. So yeah, that's something new coming out there. Next up, we have a Secret Lair reveal. We have a Yargle focused Secret Lair debuting on September 3rd, which they dub Yargle Day, because Yargle, after all, was the amazing creature. That was a 9/3, 9 power 3 toughness creature. So September 3rd, if you mark your dates as month/day, then Yargle Day 9/3. If you are in other parts of the backwards world where you do day then month, I don't know when your Yargle Day is, but Secret Lair Yargle Edition is coming out, so that's there. There's one more thing in a world of one more things. There's one more type of Secret Lair here, which they've only revealed one card of this, and it's a doozy, and it's going with like the world of Godzilla type of cards. The Walking Dead is coming to Magic. We're going to have a Walker token creature zombie. Token creature zombie 2/2 Walker. Flavor text: I'm sorry this happened to you, Rick Grimes. So we're going to have Walking Dead, the Walking Dead TV show and comic, Magic cards as secret layers coming sometime in 2021. I'm still kicking myself that I never picked up the OMG Kitties secret layer, and now it's like triple the price on eBay. Like, what was I even thinking? That secret layer was totally designed for me, and I just let it slip by my fingers. Anyway, here we have Day 9 coming in, barging in on the set, and like, I don't know what he's even doing here. He's like totally lost or something. He's like fibble fip. And because he is playing Magic Arena on mobile. Magic Arena Mobile, they've already announced that they were going to do this, and now here they show some gameplay. Let's see what we can discern from the little screen that we have there. I see Vivian on the bottom left. I guess that's me. I see Sparky on the top left. I see the little icon to push things to the side. You've got your turn. Your turn sequence is on the bottom right. It tells you its opponent's turn. Yeah, so we just got like some quick gameplay like that, which I'm sure is totally simulated. And then that's all they show. Although it is pausing for him for him to do something. So maybe it is real gameplay. And that's all that they showed about it right there. And he doesn't want to share just yet. So yeah, Magic Arena coming to mobile. And to be honest, I still don't quite know how it's going to work on one of these devices. If you got a tablet, okay, that'll make sense. But on one of these, I don't know how it's going to work on this, but for people that want it on mobile, here it comes. So that's one of the last reveals right there, and that's the event. That's the Zendikar Adventuring Party. That's the Zendikar reveal here. A lot of amazing stuff was shown. Very impressed. New cards, new mechanics, new set. I kind of, to be honest, don't like that we're already seeing, like, here's what's coming in the year 2021. Like, we saw this video about focused on, here's Zendikar, but all this other stuff to keep you in constant hype mode. I kind of don't love that. I want things to be revealed a little bit more mysteriously. I want to go back to the days where, like, Mirage, no one knew what the cards were until they played them. Literally, there were no spoilers. You sat down to play at the very first pre-release, Mirage, back in 1996, where it was first invented to have these as a draftable set. Before 1996, Magic sets weren't even draftable. They were just a mishmash of cards. So I don't want to go back to that, but I want to go back to the time where there was just more mystery, that we didn't have so much hype and so much constant reveals and new things to look at. I just want to suddenly one day turn around, oh, new Magic cards, new set, I'm down. But that's not the world we are now. This is a me old man ranting. So that's the reveal. What do you think? So far as of this moment, it has 115,000 views. As of this moment, what do you think? What do you like? What don't you like? What do you still want to see? What did you love seeing here? What do you think of all the reveals that we got here? Zendikar, Secret Layers, Kaldheim, Magic Mobile, so much stuff. Tell me about it in the comments. Really want to hear about it. Don't forget to check out my Patreon, patreon.com/vmcampos. Support the stream, support the live show, support the deck text that I put out starting at $1. I would totally appreciate that. At the $2 range, I'll actually mail you some vintage cards in appreciation, or you can simply follow for free to be alerted to everything that I do, such as the Saturday streams every 8 p.m. Pacific time. Come hang out with me and all of us on the stream as I play Magic, play Jank, play Brawl, try out new decks, try to get better. Did you know that I just made it to Mythic for the very first time ever? 12 hours before the end of the season. I made it with an amazing deck that no one is playing this deck. So come to the stream to find out what that deck is. This has been VM Campos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Zendikar.